Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode number 10. Woo! The Ball Talk Boyos podcast. I'm joined once again by co-host aficionado, Joseph Boreski. Joey, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Topher. And, I really appreciate how, for those watching, this is our third take of this podcast episode. Topher's had a different, fantastic, creative introduction for me on all three takes. So I appreciate it, Topher. I'm doing fantastic. No more technical issues. I'm ready to get this rolling and talk some ball with the Boyos.
They say we're some of the best in the business for a reason. I now have confetti all over my desk, all over my computer. It is, like you said, that was the fourth popper we've popped tonight. Thank goodness I bought extras. So, yes, we are also joined by Caleb Williams, superfan, and gatekeeper, potentially, now, Craig Hunley II. Craig Ryan Hunley II. Craig, how are you doing today?
Doing all right, not too bad. Happy to be back.
Yeah, we're also thankful for your flexible schedule. Like Joey is saying, we've had a little technical issues. No worries. We were trying to get our dear friend Will on the podcast. Vikings fan. We'll have him on at some point in the future. Just that way, he has a platform to talk about his Viking thoughts. Joey.
Yeah, I mean, Craig doesn't have much of a choice. He's our intern right now, so he has to be on at a moment's notice on call, all times of day, all times of night.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm just playing, but yeah, no, happy to have you.
Unpaid intern. Did you tell him that? Right.
Yeah.
With what money would we pay him? I don't have a job. You don't have a job. Like what?
Actually, you're looking at the newest Target employee.
Oh.
So.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo! Somebody's got to wear that red. All right.
Is this
anyway,
the audience?
What's that?
I was gonna say, is this the audience you wanna be talking that around?
Dude, I'll explain my heritage. I'm cool now. Don't worry.
Oh,
We're good. Yeah. Remember, my left arm's cooked for a reason. This we asked Will his thoughts on this question, Craig. Feels very weird to be asking you this question now after your recent waiver wire activity. I shall say, at what point in the fantasy football season do you start to look to make like moves? Like, is it week one? Like, how early is too early to start cutting people?
I make my moves as soon as the draft ends. I'm not gonna lie. Like
it's not a bad.
I'll like look at a draft pick and I'll be like, why did I pick him? And immediately just drop. Like for our draft, I didn't even pick a kicker or defense just to end it. So yeah, I do my stuff right away. I feel like everybody in our league knows that.
Yeah, waking up to seeing you drop Keon Coleman. Was quite the surprise, and I was very disappointed that I did not get him.
Same.
I think I was above you on the waiver order. But yeah.
I didn't think I had a shot, but yeah.
I thought I did. I was like 6 out of 10. I was like, looking at the people ahead of me, I was like, oh, I'm good. Like, none of these people are going to pick him up, and then Barbara did. But that's okay. Joey, at what point in the fantasy football season do you start to look to make moves, improve the team, cut people, look to make trades? At what point in the season does that start happening for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem making a small move here or there. Like, I had Blake Corum on my fantasy team who got 0 offensive snaps this past week, so I dropped him, and I picked up Tyler Johnson from the Rams, who I think is going to be their wide receiver. I think he's going to be their second best receiver in fantasy going forward until Puka's back. So that's kind of my thought process there. I'm not going to drop 6 or 7 guys on my team and then pick up 6 or 7 other guys like some people.
To be fair, it was a lot of like defense and kicker moves, which really doesn't matter. There were at least 2 times you switched defense, I think.
Yeah.
So like that everyone changes their defense every week. So that it was like 3, which like when you really. And you made the same number of moves, Joey. You dropped Blake Corum, which feels bold, which makes sense, but people aren't big on dropping Corum. Connor actually had a lot to say when I told him that you did that.
It's a 10-man league. He got 0 offensive snaps. He's behind Ronnie Rivers right now in terms of offensive snaps at running back. I'm okay. I'll live with it. I dropped him and Curtis Samuel, who I was very high on Curtis Samuel, but I'd rather have Tyler Johnson and Bucky Irving than those two.
Oh, don't get me started on Bucky Irving. A lot of people yapping about that. If I watched every offensive snap of the Buccaneers from this past season, don't get me started on Bucky Irving.
You just love Rashad White for no reason.
Dude, watch the tape. Watch. You just don't know ball. You just you can't analyze run blocking like I can.
Come on. Man.
I literally tweeted from my untrained eye, bro. They are a bad run blocking. Why are we getting into Bucky White, Bucky the Vampire talk
Bucky
right
Irving.
now? Bucky.
That's
whatever.
all you, my boy. That's all you.
Why are we getting you brought up Bucky the Pirate, Bucky Bullseye, Lucky Bucky. That's what they call him, Lucky Bucky.
I like that.
Does Bucky Irving have a good nickname?
I don't know if any of the things you spit out there any better than nothing, though. All of though.
Oh, his first name's not even Bucky.
Well, that's what I
Oh,
thought.
I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. I'm not even gonna.
What?
Well, I think it's just Marquise, but it's spelled different. It's MAR''KEISE.
Yeah, Marquise.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe his parents named him Bucky. That'd be a pretty cool nickname. Name. I wish I was named Bucky. Said I got named Christopher. Anyways, we'll carry on. In one of our other recordings of the podcast, which will, be out there in the ether somewhere, I wanted to shout out our number one fan, Colt the Bolt 85. He is in all of our YouTube Shorts comments. He watches the podcast as well, he says, and he leaves. Craig, if you go through our YouTube Shorts, you will see they have commented on every single one with their own rankings of who comes up in the different filters. DeMar Hamlin almost had a pick. But yeah, I have my Peyton Manning Indianapolis Colts jersey on just for you. Joey, your feelings about Colt the Bolt 85.
Yeah, Colt the Bolt, I mean, you're a go, man. I'm the one who's been interacting with you in the YouTube Shorts comments because I'm the one primarily on the YouTube. But we appreciate you. If we make it big, man, you're making it out with us. So I mean, I don't know what we're making it out of, but you're making it with us, man. We'll treat you right. We'll treat you right. Don't worry.
Maybe they're in Indy, and we can try and meet up with them one day. That'd be pretty cool. First fan meetup.
Fan meetup will go crazy, yeah.
Fan meetup will go crazy. Where would we have it?
The Summers house, maybe. I'm kidding.
We'll get our we'll get our intern working on that. You got that, Craig? Put that down.
I got that. Let me write it down.
You got class tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah, not anymore. You're working on this now. All right.
Oh. Also, we don't have any money in our budget, so you're gonna have to fund this yourself.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not. You were a summer camp counselor. You're good.
Yeah.
You got us.
I'm rolling in it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying for. We're not paying you. You're paying for all of this stuff.
Okay.
Also, even though it's going to happen in Indy, I want a hotel room, so you're gonna have to pay for that too. Nice hotel, nothing.
And you gotta fly. He's got to be flown out.
You gotta fly me out to Indy.
And no Spirit Airlines.
None of that. The bougie stuff, only bougie stuff. I wouldn't mind a Peach.
So no La Quinta or what?
La Quinta kind of nice, man. I'm cool with that.
I had something I was going to transition us into, and now I have no clue. Craig, you watch any Week 1 NFL football?
Absolutely.
What Obviously, we talked about your feelings about buying and selling NFL players after week one. Who is a player in particular that you're looking, if you have them on your roster, you're looking to sell after week one,
Ooh.
if you have somebody in mind?
First thought that comes to my team is Chris Godwin. I think that, yes, Chris Godwin's really good, but is he going to outcatch Mike Evans every week? Probably not. I don't know. I mean, he's solid when he's healthy, but he also is pretty injury prone. So him getting a 22-point game first week is kind of nice for everyone who is a casual. But when you know his history, it's kind of like, So yeah, Chris Godwin number one right now I'm trying to sell him.
So I apologize for my face. Tua just went down and it did not look very good. It looked like he lowered the crown and he went into like DeMar Hamlin's chest, and I can't be laughing.
That's a crazy combo.
He went down and he hit DeMar Hamlin's chest, and it looked like the lights went out. Am I gonna have to cut that out?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Prayers up.
Unpaid.
Prayers up.
Yeah. Hopefully Tua's doing it. Looked like everyone was down, so hopefully he's doing okay. Joey, who is a NFL player you're looking to sell after week one?
I think the number one guy that comes to mind is Joe Mixon. And Joe Mixon had a great week one. He's very involved in that Texans offense, clearly. But my reasoning is I don't think he's going to perform as well as he did this week every week. I see people online saying he's going to be a top 3 to 5 running back in fantasy this year, which might happen, but I don't really trust it, especially since he's aging and it's shown that he's not the most efficient at times. So, I mean, if he's a top 3 to 5 running back and people feel that way, I'd rather swap him for another top 3 to 5 running back or a top 3 to 5 receiver and get that value right now than hold on to Joe Mixon and hope he holds on for dear life this season.
Craig, your thoughts about Joe Mixon after week one?
Absolutely agree. I mean, I saw a lot of fantasy pros saying to stay away from Mixon because of all the mouths that have to be fed. And for him to have a 30-something point game immediately, I think it's a fluke. It's a one-game wonder.
Yeah, he had a couple of touchdowns, which I think aided it, but like when you put up that many fantasy points, it's got to have a lot to do with what you did. Yeah, he had 26.8 PPR points, I think was. He had 3 catches, but he had 30 carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not continuing for him. Yeah, great take. The person that I'm most looking to sell, and Craig, I don't know if you've heard me say this. I know Joey has multiple times now. I'm selling Xavier Worthy if I have him in any league. He played like 60% of the snaps. He had 2 catches on 3 targets, and his 2 touchdowns came on a jet sweep, which, if you watch football long enough, jet sweep's either going for 15 yards or it's going for -5. And then he scored the other touchdown on blown coverage. So I'm not. Joey and I had a very heated debate that maybe I'll try and clip that off and post somewhere on our previous attempt. But Joey said that me saying something about Xavier Worthy was the same as saying Tom Brady was a system quarterback. Like, me and that guy are the same. Joey, go ahead. Defend yourself. Yeah.
Okay, don't put words in my mouth. Keep my name out your mouth. But I think I was saying that I think Xavier Worthy shows a lot of promise, and he showed flashes of being really great. And then you were just like, no, he's not. And I said that you're hating on Xavier Worthy for absolutely no reason is equivalent to that guy hating on Tom Brady and calling him a system quarterback, or Connor's hate for Brock Purdy. There's no reasoning behind it. It's just pure hatred. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen that one clip of that guy who calls into the podcast and talks about how much he hates Jason Tatum for no reason, because Jason Tatum he's a Philly fan, so Jason Tatum beats his teams. Jason Tatum's thing is celebrity crush, LMA. Jason Tatum's handsome or something. So like this guy hates Jason Tatum for all these reasons, but like none of them are actually good reasons, and that's how I feel about your hate for Xavier Worthy right now.
See, I just don't think he's like gonna be that I think fantasy-wise, he's just not going to be all that relevant once Hollywood Brown comes back.
No, and I agree. I'm just saying he showed.
And that's why I'm saying
we were
sell him.
No. We talked about this debate during the time we were talking about the Chiefs-Ravens game itself, away from fantasy. I think you're right that selling him in fantasy could be a good move right now. I personally wouldn't. I would hold on to him, but I could see your side of that. I think that he shows a lot of flashes of greatness, though. And I'm not saying he's great right now, but I'm saying, based on what we've seen, I see the potential there. And his potential is unlimited, it seems like. Just based on his natural gifts.
I see John Ross. Craig, are you buying, selling, or holding on Xavier Worthy right now, after week 1?
I'm selling immediately. He's a glorified Jahan Dotson. I saw something on Twitter, and they had identical stats, identical fantasy stats. Ever since I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is a 1 week wonder. I mean, Kelsey had like no catches. He had 6 fantasy points. He's going to be involved in the offense a lot more. So, and then Hollywood comes back. I mean, it's just taken away from Worthy's share. So yeah, sell immediately.
Okay, that's fair. You bringing up Kelsey actually brings me into my buy portion of NFL players after week 1. I am buying all big name tight ends. Offense was down league wide week 1. I don't expect them to struggle this much. Greg, can you explain to me why people don't want to play preseason anymore? Like, what's going on? Back in our days, I don't care about player safety. Get your reps in. Get your reps in. I don't care. I'm
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
You're on fire right now. You sure?
No. You cook.
I mean, yeah, obviously player safety is the number one thing, which we talked about a little on episode 3 of the podcast. I think also I think ever since the Ravens had that streak of winning preseason games, everybody's been like, you know what, just screw the preseason. There's one team that's just try-harding, like it's their Super Bowl. It's Bill Belichick put this a really good way. I don't know if you guys saw his interview with Pat McAfee, but he said that there is more value in how a player practices than how a player plays in preseason because it's all third stringers. So
interesting.
Ever since I heard that, I've kind of been like, that makes sense. I kind of like that take.
I just feel like when it's too this year in particular, I just feel like offenses just aren't in their rhythm without playing in those environments and without even if it's just a quarter in the last preseason game. There's the player injury risk of it all, but there's got to be something to account for getting out there, getting your reps in, and hucking the pigskin around with the boyos on a football field for a little bit. So, Joey, your thoughts on players not playing in preseason games and our unplanned discussion about them? I also am the same person that says they don't matter, but that's much more from a results outcome. They don't matter, things like that.
Back in my day, Topher, these guys would have been out there every single snap of all 4, not 3, not his cupcake 3 preseason games. There's 4 preseason games, and they would be out there hitting each other full force every time. So I think the fact that we're soft enough nowadays that they don't even play is a disgrace. Is a disgrace to the NFL. But in all seriousness, I don't think preseason really matters that much. And I think if they're not going to play in preseason, they're going to start slow every time, regardless. You need a game or 2 to warm up, and I think that guys who don't play in preseason obviously aren't going to warm up because they haven't played yet.
Sure. I would agree. Let's get in our hot tub time machines and teleport back a week. We are currently recording on Thursday night, 9:28 Central Daylight Savings Time, CTD, whatever it is. I know it's 10:28 for you, Joey, because I live in East Coast time. Craig, what were your takeaways from Chiefs-Ravens week 1?
Quite a bit. Well, first and foremost, the Isaiah Likely explosion. I don't know if is that going to keep up? 12 targets is quite a lot of targets for a tight end too. So that was kind of cool. I also got him on waivers. Thank you guys. Anyways,
And then tried to trade him immediately, my sources are telling me.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I think that a lot of people were saying that, oh, yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl. I think that confirmed it for me, just week one alone. That might be a crazy take, and they still won, yeah, but I don't think they're going to get it done with that offense. I don't think so. I think that this is it's an offense that can get figured out pretty quickly, I think. I mean, that's just me being a casual fan and saying that, sitting on the couch watching it. But I was more impressed by their defense and how they kind of shut down Mark Andrews. I don't know. Maybe Isaiah Likely's him, but they kind of like zoned in on the receivers other than Likely. I was more impressed by the defense for sure. Chris Jones looks unstoppable. I was pretty impressed with that. I like their D-line a lot. But I don't know. The offense is still a little shaky. Maybe it's because Kelsey only had, 3 catches? But yeah, I think the Ravens put up a good fight. Them saying like, oh yeah, we'll get them next time or whatever. We're not in shape. I don't know. Some weird interview after from a couple players. I was like, why would you even say that? So
yeah,
I don't know. Lamar looked good though. Lamar looks good. He looks comfortable at the end.
Yeah, my bigger issues with Lamar is that I feel like he's very much. I just don't trust him as a passer enough to like win the big games that I feel like he needs to. I mean, we saw him miss 2 throws. The last one wasn't his fault. Like it was just like an inch made the difference between winning and losing for them. But I don't trust him fully as a thrower. And I don't know if this is every game, but this game it looked much more like he was looking to run the ball when he dropped back more than he was looking to pass the ball.
Yeah.
But once again, my untrained eye in watching football from a Division III cross country and track runners. Joey, your immediate thoughts on Chiefs Ravens Week 1.
The 2 things that stood out to me were the usage or lack thereof of Derrick Henry. I think that Derrick Henry, there's 2 ways you can look at it. Either he's washed or they're saving up for like the important parts of the season, like the postseason, like later regular season. And I think it's more the latter. I think that they're saving him for when it really matters. And you can go say the same for Mark Andrews, really. I think Mark Andrews will be more of a focal point of the offense once you get later into the season. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Sure.
And then the other thing is, I think Xavier, where he shows flashes, like I was saying earlier, he shows flashes of being able to be a really good wide receiver in this league. I don't think he's a great wide receiver yet. I don't think he's it wasn't like an overly impressive performance, but the flashes were there. So I'm excited by his potential as a receiver.
Sure. I don't need to go through my whole Xavier Worthy rant again. My thoughts that had a lot less to do with like what actually happened in the game and more just I enjoy watching Isaiah Pacheco run. It looks fun. It looks like one of those, like I said, wind up toys that you then just like hold there and watch the legs like go back and forth as like it just it's just fun to watch him run. If you have a problem with Taylor Swift being shown for 10 seconds out of a 3.5-hour broadcast, respectfully, you need to grow up. If she were like in the booth, like talking football, like trying to like analyze the game, I'd understand. But like they literally just show her for like 2 seconds at a time, and that's it. There is no other like. She's not talking all the time. Like, sure, she gets a couple extra posts on the NFL socials, but like, who cares? Like, oh no, I'm not watching another NFL football game until they stop showing Taylor Swift. Congratulations, you're standing up to the man. They're really hurting off that one. Couple of other thoughts. Juwan Taylor is just cheating. Like he's just blatantly cheating. Like, I was trying to find if he's actually a good like offensive lineman or if he just cheats, because there were like 4 illegal formation calls at the start of the game, and the Chiefs were doing it every play, and then it just was not called. Like, it's just like, what are we doing? He's also tipping what they're gonna do. Um, oh, I completely forgot to mention this one even before. Steve Spagnuolo calling the timeout. Why was that not a penalty?
That was wild.
Like,
Yeah.
assistant coaches aren't supposed to be. I didn't know this before, but assistant coaches technically can't call timeouts. Why was that not a penalty? Like, it happened at a pretty critical point in the game. Like, the timeout either shouldn't have counted or they should have been flagged for it. Which I thought was pretty wild. Craig, I think you've already answered this. You don't feel like the Chiefs should be viewed as like a Super Bowl contender or Super Bowl favorites after Week 1.
Yeah, I don't. I think this is one of their slower starts in the Mahomes reign. I think that, I mean, their Week 1, the last year the Patriots won the Super Bowl, they blew out Tom Brady, like prime Patriot. Like, they always come firing, and then this one was like, maybe the Ravens are good, but I don't know. I was pretty underwhelmed with a more experienced Mahomes and a very experienced team kind of underperforming, because we've seen it in the past against good defenses like the Patriots and like prime Tom Brady, some would say,
Sure.
exploding, and now it's like, okay, 6-point win, whatever it was. I'm not impressed.
Joey, what are your feelings about the Chiefs Super Bowl chances after Week 1?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't view them as the favorite coming in. I think the 49ers are the best team in the league right now. I think they proved it this week. We'll get more into that later, though. I'm actually higher on the Chiefs now than I was coming into the season. I think their defense was a lot better than I expected. I think the offense showed me what I wanted to see in Week 1. Because if I remember correctly, last year they didn't start too well or anything like that. So I think the Chiefs looking that good Week 1 and having like some of the strong suits, like their defense is really good, like some of those weapons on offense. I'm very high on the Chiefs. I don't think they're the favorites in my opinion still, but I think they're a really good ball club.
Still very good. Yeah, understandably. Joey, what did you feel like was the biggest surprise from Week 1? And I'll give you a minute to think about this, but what was the biggest surprise, whether it was a player or a team, things like that, out of Week 1 of the NFL season?
I mean, it has to be the New England Patriots beating the Bengals, right? I mean, the Patriots looked like a good team. They looked good. Ramondre Stevenson looked like an elite running back out there. It just looked like a good, well-run team, like the Patriots have been historically known for, but obviously with a lot of different faces than they had back in those days with Tom Brady. I don't know if it's more of a product of the Bengals just looking like crap to come out of the gate, which they are known for at this point, or if it's the product of the Patriots actually being good. But I'm a lot higher on the Patriots now than I was coming into the year, and I'm also a lot more concerned about the Bengals with Joe Burrow's wrist injury and all that stuff.
See, the wrist, are you talking about the freaking water bottle clip?
I'm not talking about that. I've saw stuff about how
flexing. Yeah, I saw that. Like he was messing with it a little bit to make sure. But I think it could have just been like, all right, does this hurt? Like when I roll or sprain my ankle and after I run around and it hurts, like I'm like, oh, does it still hurt? Like things like Craig, you broke your leg. You tried to run to see if it still hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I think it's just much more like, oh, I tried to throw the ball as hard as I can. Does my wrist hurt when I do like this? Like move it in ways that you don't. I'm not worried about the wrist. But the Patriots, I would agree with. I think Gerard Mayo has those guys ready to play, and they sound like they're a well-oiled machine. Jacoby Brissett, I think, is a legit NFL quarterback. We'll see as they kind of force him to throw the ball a little bit more, but I think that defense is going to be legit. And Christian Gonzalez is a top 5 cornerback in the NFL and probably would have won Defensive Rookie of the Year last year because he has locked up your favorite wide receiver, and he's about to do it again this next week against DK Metcalf, and is about to make him look silly. Like that man is legit. Craig, the biggest surprise that you felt like you saw out of watching the games this past weekend?
The biggest surprise was my sweet, glorious king, Caleb Williams, stinking it up. Oh my gosh, 93 passing yards. Oh my god.
You. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, it was a disaster. I was texting Peyton the entire time. The word "we're cooked" was thrown around maybe 8 or 9 times. Um, Peyton might have said a few things about Justin Fields that got me riled up. Um,
Oh no. Do we need to call him? Do we need to text him?
I mean, he's off work today, so we might have to. But yeah, I think that the offense, man, Keenan Allen's washed. 11 targets and he caught what, two? What in the
I'd
world?
have to go back. I'd have to go back and watch the game.
Okay. But yeah, it was, I don't know. The offense looked terrible. I am very happy with the defense. I've been saying they're the best defense in the league since last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. I did not think our special teams would be anything special, but damn, that was
Special.
exciting.
That's why they're called special teams, Greg.
Special players. So yeah, I think that the Bears' offense was really surprising because you bring in a brand new coordinator who's known for airing the ball out. He made Geno Smith look really, really good. And maybe Geno Smith is good, but man, Shane Waldron, you made Caleb look really bad. I don't know if it's Shane's fault, like with the play calling. I don't know why we're running screens on 3rd and 14. I will never understand that, and we're not at midfield. Anyways, yeah, the Bears' offense was a big surprise. And then I'd say the Falcons in general. Ugh.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Achilles is. You can tell. You can definitely tell that Kirk is.
Yeah, he's just a little less mobile.
Yeah, he lost a step. I do like how Bijan's more involved though. I mean, 16 fantasy points or whatever it was, and 60 rushing yards without a rushing touchdown. That's pretty impressive. And then Kyle Pitts scoring a touchdown was nice. So I think there were a few bright spots in like the Falcons. But all the money they paid Kirk just to kind of be mid. I don't know. It's concerning, especially it's the Steelers. Steelers suck. Sorry, Trev. They suck. So
I like how at some point in just about every podcast we're like, "Sorry, Trev," and it's just because he's a Steelers fan. That's all that comes out of our mouths. We'll have to keep that bit going. But Joey, any worries about the Falcons, or I guess just the Bears / Bears offense after their Week 1 performances? I feel like an overreaction.
I think there's a little bit of worry about both, honestly. I think Caleb Williams, I'm less worried about him than Kirk Cousins, just because I know Caleb Williams is a rookie quarterback. I think Justin Fields would have been better in Week 1, but I think that Caleb Williams...
So.
Well, on the Bears offense with all that talent around him, maybe he would have been. But I'm less worried about Caleb Williams. I think I'm not gonna give up on him after 1 week. I think he's still a good quarterback. We'll have to see how he progresses throughout the season. Kirk Cousins, I'm a little more worried about with that Achilles, but you never know. He could it could just been some bad clips. He could just be like going super easy on that first week. Maybe you never know what's going on there, but. A little bit of worry for both, not as much for the Bears, though.
I just think it was just a tough Week 1. It'll be fine. Caleb Williams is fine. Kirk Cousins will be fine. Might take a few weeks to get used to the leg again. I'm not tripping about either. The biggest surprise, other than what you both have talked about it for me, was Baker. He's slinging it. He's slinging that thing around. I watched every offensive snap of he's letting it hang, Craig. I watched every offensive snap for the Buccaneers, more to see if I can argue my own personal narrative about different things, but we don't have to get into that. No more talk about Bucky the Pirate. But I felt like Baker was slinging it. He was obviously finding Chris Godwin, like we were talking about. That man just wants to prove everybody wrong. Even after getting paid. He just wants to. If you even say oh you don't even. I bet if somebody told him he held a fork wrong, he would try and prove them wrong. That. No, I hold it freaking right, and you're about to watch me eat the heck out of this pot pie. You're about to watch Master go to work. Yeah, Baker, I'm not I'm big on Baker. Joey.
Yeah, real quick about Baker. I don't know if you were gonna skip to a different topic there.
Sure.
I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, as many of you may know, and back when Baker was underperforming on the Browns, I was always a defender of Baker Mayfield. Right? I was like, oh, it's his shoulder. He's just injured. I still have faith in Baker, right? And I will say, when we made the trade for Deshaun Watson, I was like, okay, sweet. I mean, Deshaun Watson's a horrible, horrible piece of crap human being, but maybe we'll win a few more football games. Maybe Baker actually was the problem. I can see the upside here, right?
Way.
I don't know what he's about to do, but I can't believe if he's going to do what I think he's going to do. But Baker Mayfield should be a freaking Cleveland Brown, man. He should be a Cleveland Brown. I am beyond upset that the Cleveland Browns, we can't have anything nice. There's no winning in Cleveland, man. Like we have Baker Mayfield. I understand he was underperforming, but like that's just wild. Still having that's wild. Still having that is absolutely absurd.
I got it before the allegations.
Oh my god.
Oh, Topher.
Yeah.
You know, in one of the previous takes of this podcast episode, we were talking about a wager for fantasy football, right? Who scores more points between our two teams this year?
Uh-oh.
In terms of like our two matchups.
Uh-oh.
Topher, you know where I'm going with this?
No, I'm not wearing that out in public.
No, I'm not saying on public. I'm just saying
Okay.
maybe if you slipped it on the podcast for an episode.
Oh, I'll wear it on the podcast either way.
I wouldn't.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna have to either way, so it doesn't really matter.
Dude, it's a. Ooh, I'm wearing a jersey. Craig, wasn't it on episode 1 you wore the Johnny Manziel jersey?
Yeah,
Whoa.
episode 3, but yeah.
Yeah, a little different, but
Yeah.
That's very, very
yeah, very different. But
Don't
I'm not
disrespect Johnny Football like that.
Yeah, that's the
I'm not. It's guy just likes a happy ending. I might have to cut that. It's cut. I don't condone any of his actions. He's a horrible NFL quarterback and potentially even a worse person. So
Actually, he's really bad at NFL quarterback too. I was about to say he's definitely a worse
yeah, it's a
person.
bit of a toss-up. Which one he's worse at?
I'm glad I've been ragging on him this week in the posts on
yeah, we
TikTok
both
and
did.
stuff.
We both did.
I've been ragging on him.
Oh.
I liked how you saved that last spot. How many times you re-record that?
I did it twice.
Just
The
just to
first
see if you got-
the first time I had Deshaun Watson at 10 and it worked out. The first time I had Drake May end up at like 2 and like Jane Daniels end up at 1 because it was like the last two there. So I was like, I'm gonna redo this one, and I saved that last spot. If for those of you listening to this on YouTube Shorts or TikTok, we can if you go back to my blind ranking of NFL quarterbacks after week 1, I put Aiden O'Connell at 1 with my second to last choice, just in the hopes that Deshaun Watson's loser bum booty would come up so I could put him at 10 and just get upset. I mean, look, what I said was true. Of the 8 billion people on planet Earth, he is 8 billion and first in my mind. There's no love for Deshaun Watson. I hate him, and I wish nothing but bad for him when he's outside of everything with the Cleveland Browns. I hope he wins with the Cleveland Browns, though.
was a dog at Clemson though.
He was a dog at Clemson, man. Those were some good teams.
Gosh, I can't believe I still have that. I can't believe I got that. Like of all the jerseys I could have picked that I asked for Christmas, I got a Deshaun Watson jersey. It's kind of funny looking back because I got it before everything happened. Obviously, I'm not gonna ask for a Deshaun Watson jersey like while all this is going on. I asked for it before everything happened. I thought it was like, oh, it's the sickest thing. And then I think even in year 1 of one of our fantasy leagues, I traded for Deshaun Watson from you, Craig. I overpaid the heck out of him, but that was because my team stunk. Anyways, enough Deshaun Watson talk for today. What is Joey, what is a team or a player that struggled week one that you're not worried about?
I'd say a player in specific that struggled week one that I'm not worried about really is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor was not super efficient running the ball, but I think that he's going to be just fine. I think he's going to be one of the best running backs in the league this season. I just think it was, for whatever reason, a tough week. Well, Titans are a tough matchup when it comes to running the ball, so I'm not worried about him whatsoever.
Yeah, that's fair. Craig, any worries about Jonathan Taylor after his week one performance?
No worries. I think that AR coming back in as the quarterback, he's got to get his feet settled and realize they'll understand that Jonathan Taylor's the number one option at all times.
Yeah, that's fair. What is a player, what is a team that you're not worried about, Craig?
Team that I'm not worried about? I mean, crazy enough to say, I'd say the Ravens. I feel like,
Sure.
Are we saying like worried like they lost and like they could bounce back?
Yeah.
I'd just say Ravens. I think that week
Say
one
Ravens.
playing the Chiefs is already a hard thing to do, and the fact that it was so close, and they held
In Kansas City.
Yeah, in Kansas City, and they held Travis to absolutely like nothing. I didn't see a lot of Taylor Swift clips, so they did a pretty good job in that department.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I think the Ravens will be fine.
Yeah, I would agree. My big team, I know we talked about the team that they played. I'm not worried about the Bengals. Give it a couple more weeks, and then I can start to be worried. But first week back, they just got Jamar back. They didn't have T. Higgins. I think they went up against a team that is going to wind up being a lot better than we actually thought. So, yeah. Big other thing that happened, Craig, your Green Bay Packers suffered an injury. The Green Bay Packers suffered an injury to their starting quarterback, Jordan Love. He sprained his MCL. He's out the next 3 to 6 weeks. Their next 4 games are against the Colts, Titans, Vikings, and Rams. Craig, if Malik Willis starts the next 4 games against those 2 teams, what do you expect their record to be in those games?
0-4.
You have them going 0-4 in those games.
Malik Willis is, hey, all respect to Liberty, shout out Micah, but holy cow. Malik Willis is awful. Like, terrible. I mean, the guy couldn't decide if he wanted to run out of the pocket and scramble or throw it. Like, it looked like he was very confused. He definitely was not game ready. I don't think anyone expected Jordan Love to get hurt, especially right at the end of the game, but you're a backup quarterback. You're getting paid millions. This is your job. Please be ready. I don't know. Malik Willis is a bum. I liked him at Liberty just because, yeah, but holy cow. They're losing every single game. They have a better chance if they sign rumors about Ryan Tannehill being signed. Absolutely. And then, Topher, we talked about if Tom Brady were to sign there, I would be a Packers fan on the spot. I'd have to be. I'd get a jersey and everything. I'd buy a cheesehead, too.
It's fair. It's fair.
You're
Michael
down
would
jersey.
Michael would love that.
Yeah. I want to add one more thing, though. Jordan Love is soft. The GOAT Tom Brady won a Super Bowl on a fully torn MCL against prime Mahomes. Jordan Love can't even play on a sprained one? Soft. That's all I got to say. Soft.
Joey, what do you think the Packers' record is in the next 4 games with those games? With those 4 games coming up?
I think they go 1-3 or something like that. I feel like they somehow figure it out somewhere, but their defense is not anything to write home about, and without a competent quarterback and an offense, what do they have going for them, really? And it's clearly not their kicker. They don't have a kicker going for them, that's for sure. So I maybe it's 0-4, honestly. They might not win a game. But I'll say they win 1 game just because it's the Packers and because they don't like lose like that. But Yeah, yikes, man. They're screwed. And Malik Willis will only start like one game, maybe two, and Sean Clifford's going to have to come in and save the day.
Yeah, we're about to watch them run the heck out of the ball.
Glad I have Josh Jacobs.
Nose down, get uphill, run the ball. I was looking into the MCL thing for Tom Brady. I'd forgotten or didn't remember that happening or ever seeing anything about it.
Go.
Interesting. Yeah, I think they probably go 1-3. I think the Colts are better than we thought. See, actually, I'm going to say they go 2-2. I think it's a sandwich. I think they beat the Titans and they beat the Vikings. They're the filling of the sandwich. The wins are the middle. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I think they lose this week to the Colts and lose to the Rams week 5. And I will not be talking any further about it. Other big news in NFL. This past week, Dak Prescott signed a 4-year, my Super Bowl MVP winning Dak Prescott signed a 4-year, $240 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys of Texas. And $231 million of it was guaranteed. Craig, your immediate thoughts on the Dak Prescott signing?
Yeesh. I've talked about this before. I think Mahomes is the only person who deserves that kind of money. Everyone else should be thinking about the team first. Yeah, Dak had a really, really good year last year, led the league in touchdowns, passing touchdowns. But, dude, that team's not winning the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, not the offense. I understand that, bringing Zeke back for nostalgia is going to carry them all the way. Like, you got to save some money to buy some people. You just paid CD all this money, and now you're throwing the entire wagon at Dak. You're going to have to pay Micah at some point. It's like this money starts to run out soon, so I don't know. I think that quarterbacks should be more team-friendly and team-oriented like my sweet, glorious GOAT Tom Brady was. Good for him, though. That's cool that he got the richest contract ever, but I feel like it's weird that Jerry Jones was so against, like, getting a quick contract for CD and then immediately being like, oh, yeah, hey, Dak, you want to become the richest player ever? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of weird. The ownership is it's a little shaky over there in Dallas when it comes to contracts. But, I mean, good for Dak. He earned it. He had a great year last year. Hopefully he does it again.
It's probably all negotiation tactics. I'll let Joey talk a little bit about his thoughts about the Dak Prescott signing before I go on my monologue about it. Joey, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick after this, I'm going to have to step out for like 20 because I have to go pick someone up from a concert. But I know Topher's monologue about this is going to go for 20 minutes, so we're all good there anyways. I think it's a decent signing. I mean, we said that they have to get rid of either one of Dak, CD, or Micah Parsons on the previous podcast, and I said that if they're going to let one of those guys go, it should be Micah Parsons. So it's okay. I think it's a good. I mean, it can't be a worse contract than Deshaun Watson. So I'm not too worried about it. The Cowboys will be fine. I don't think the Cowboys are going to win a Super Bowl, but it is what it is. That's the market.
Where are you going?
I dropped Katie off at a Post Malone concert earlier. That's why I had to push it back a little bit. And because of all the technical difficulties, I have to go pick her and her friend up now because it's been over 2 hours.
Oh, how long are you going to be? Probably.
It'll be like it's 5 minutes away.
Oh, that's not that bad. Craig and I could just sit here and look at each other for the next 10 minutes. So.
All right. I'll be back. It should be max 20 minutes. I don't see it going longer.
Bye, Joey.
Bye, Jobo.
Oh, I'll hide his camera.
The real podcast begins now.
All right, well, he left.
Yes.
So what are we going to talk about? This is all still recording. It's going to stay in.
Awesome.
All right. Why didn't he want to stay for my Dak thoughts? I got a lot of Dak thoughts.
It's kind of
They're
messed
pretty
up.
good thoughts.
I'm excited.
No, he can read them later. He'll just have to watch.
Yeah.
I think it is a great signing. I always thought they should have re-signed Dak Prescott. And sure, price tag, hefty. Like next year, his cap hit is almost $90 million. But here's the thing with some of these like quarterback contracts is whatever number we see is not even close to what they're going to actually get paid, because every March, I guarantee you, I'll put money on it that this March we get a tweet from Adam Schefter saying, "Breaking news, Dak Prescott has converted 40 million of his salary cap to a signing bonus, saving the team 35 million in cap space." So that's where it turns into the team friendly like contract, is that yes, they're gonna pay him all of this money, but it's really not gonna be that much, or it's not gonna be close to that. They're not actually paying him 90 million. And I even said on Twitter, I was like, I will wait until I see how it's broken down until I like form an opinion on it. And he's going to be top 5 in the NFL in cap hit among quarterbacks until 2029, which is quite some time. But by the end of the next like 2 years, it's going to be a whole new list of quarterbacks that are going to be ahead of him.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud's going to sign his extension in a couple of years. I can't even think of who else along with that. Brock Purdy's about to re-sign. Like, we'll see what his contract winds up going for. Who knows who else signs contract? Caleb Williams could sign an extension that winds up being a lot. But, like, it's top 5 right now, but it's not even going to be – I don't even know who else is on, like, expiring deals within the next few years. But, like, it's not going to be close. And he was legitimately good last year. Like, I think that kind of why do you think Dak kind of gets this bad rep?
Because he's on the Cowboys. I feel like the entire.
You think that's just because the Cowboys?
I think so. I mean, them kind of like the America's team, that rubs so many people the wrong way. And I think that plays into like how all the players are seen as well. Like there was a time where Des Bryant wasn't even like, just for like his person, like people were like, wait, why do we not like Des Bryant again? And it was just because he was in the Cowboys. So I think it's just the Cowboy effect.
Yeah. Who do you think is America's team?
I mean, this hurts to say, but I feel like it's got to be Kansas City.
I don't think so.
They're just so dominant. I think it was the Patriots when they were dominant. I just feel like whoever's winning all the time, like they're representing America to every other place. I don't know.
See, I feel like America's team has to be a team that everybody loves. Like, regardless of if you like the team or not, or if you're a fan, or if you are a fan of their rival, you're like, oh, okay, if this team succeeds, like I'm cool with that. I think it's the Detroit Lions, America's team. And I think I've said this on the podcast before. I think honestly it could even be the Buffalo Bills. They're on right now. But because like I think everybody loves them. I think the fans are great. I think especially the Buffalo Bills, they support like great causes. They probably have one of the best fan bases in the world. But do you really think it is just like he's a Dallas Cowboy? He's Jerry Jones.
I think
that's it. It's crazy to think that he was a 4th round pick.
Jeez.
And he wasn't even supposed to start week 1 his rookie year.
Was Romo still there?
He did, because what's that?
Was Romo still there when he was a rookie?
Yeah, but Romo was hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Romo got hurt in preseason. So then he was starting like week 1. But he was like legitimately good last year. Like he finished 2nd in the MVP race.
Yeah.
Like they went 12 without a stinker against the Bills. He probably puts up a better fight for MVP than against Lamar.
Yeah.
I'm still someone that doesn't even think Lamar should have won like MVP last year. Like I'm sure you saw this too. The like side-by-side stat comparisons of Lamar and Derek Carr as passers. And it's like, obviously, like passing isn't all Lamar does, but like it was comparing how they're like comparable as like passers. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean, he produced the best passing grade of his career at 87.0. No clue what passing grade is, but apparently the nerds love it. He was one of just 2 passers to earn a 90-plus passing grade in 4 or more games, including a 95.3 output in Week 12. And I think in the playoffs they just got outcoached. Like I think that's all that was. I think Green Bay was clearly better prepared coming into that game, and that kind of limited them from that standpoint. We're talking about Green Bay again. We're gonna look at that. I'm trying to save some of the bigger topics until Joey comes back because I know he's going to want to talk about college football because he's a nerd.
Yeah.
We can do the calf talk debate of the week because I think this is interesting. Calf talk debate of the week this week is what player would make you root for your rival? Is it Tom Brady? Like, let's say the Packers.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else on that list?
Oh, man. I mean, I feel like Tom Brady coming out of retirement just to play for the. I mean, like, it is kind of a perfect scenario right now, but.
Tom would make sense if Love was out the entire year.
Yeah.
Then it probably gets considered. But since Love's going to be back like week, even signing like Tannehill doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, they're probably not ready to play week 2, so then you're paying them to play 2 or 3 weeks in theory. But like, is it Brady that you think? Oh, Skylar Thompson is playing for the Dolphins right now.
Oh gosh.
The Skylar Thompson.
Game's over.
Yeah, it's 31-10 with 2 minutes to play in the fourth. It was already over. Mike McDaniel looks like he's about to have a breakdown. Hopefully Tua's okay. Prayers up for Tua. But is it just Tom Brady? Like nobody else in the NFL currently would move the needle enough for you?
No, I don't think. I mean, I've said openly that if Caleb were to jump ship from the Bears after his rookie contract, I would probably consider just following him because I like more of like I will always love the Bears, but I like having one player to stick with and kind of like experiencing their career like the entire way, and then okay, that ends. All right, either find a new player or just go back to the home team. I don't know. That's just how I am.
I've kind of talked about it a couple of times. That's how I am with sports. Is I feel like I attach myself a lot more to players as opposed to teams. Obviously, like the Red Sox are the team that I root for harder than any other team, and but like for football, I like certain players. For basketball, I'm obviously a big LeBron guy. But like one of the things I did like think about with that is that I will never get to experience, especially with football, because I'm kind of in between. Like I obviously like the Cowboys, but like, but I'll never get to experience like the highs of like if the Bears go on to a Super Bowl this year. Could you imagine seeing Peyton or like Connor or or like how you felt when like the Buccaneers won, like seeing like that again?
Yeah.
Like I'll never get to experience like that high of highs until like I have kids and they find a team that they latch themselves onto. So like it's weird to think about. But is there anybody that could join the Bears now that would make you not root for them?
I mean, Deshaun Watson. I don't really like Tyreek Hill. Who else? If we signed Xavier Howard, I wouldn't like that.
What did he do? Well, actually, we might not want to get into that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I did see he did something.
It's pretty gross.
Not great. My answer to I'll answer this from a baseball perspective in terms of rival. I don't care if my own mother played for the New York Yankees. I'm not rooting for him. I'm not doing it. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care if my mother, father, brother, sister, niece, nephew played for the New York Yankees. I'm not doing it. It's just like Saquon. Isn't his dad like a big Jets fan?
I think so.
There's somebody. I think it's Saquon's dad, and he was like, "Oh yeah, if you make the Super Bowl, it's against the Jets. Like I'm rooting for the Jets." Saquon dad rooting for Jets. There was somebody that I saw recently. Um, it is. Let me see if I can. Let's see. I'm trying to pull up the quote. Okay, he's not actually going to be rooting for the Jets. Either way, there is no single player that could join the New York Yankees that would make me want to root for them. So,
Okay. Loyal.
So yeah. We can do Boyo of the Week too. We might as well do that. Joey's clearly never coming back. So, yeah, this week's brought to you by Will Simmons. Unfortunately, couldn't be with us today, but we'll get your thoughts on this. This is a recognizable name, so you probably don't. You've seen it already. But this week's Boyo of the Week comes from, I actually don't know where he's from, but he played his college ball at Oklahoma. He is one Sam Bradford. Now, how do you remember Sam Bradford when you think of him?
I remember him mostly as a Viking.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously Heisman Trophy winner at Oklahoma. He was electric in college. One of the first few college quarterbacks that ring a bell. Like when I first started watching football, he's one of those people. But yeah, no, I feel like Sam Bradford was just one of those talents that were so good in college, and it just could not quite translate to the NFL. And it's nothing like it's not like he was terrible in the NFL, but he just wasn't a starting quarterback. He would be a serviceable backup like his whole career, like one of those kind of guys. But yeah, no, I mean Bradford was good attitude, nice guy, but not
Didn't
really.
he get rocked one time? Like he got hit really bad. Am I thinking about somebody else?
No, I think you're right. Like head into the ground straight. I think like a slide. He was sliding and it just got brutally nailed.
Yeah.
Vikings and Rams. Vikings and Rams. Sorry, Rams.
Yeah. He was drafted by the Rams. He won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he was solid.
You want to guess here? This was fun. You want to guess who finished second in Rookie of the Year voting that year?
What year was it?
2010.
Oh. Was it a running back?
No, it was a wide receiver.
Oh, okay. Was it? No. I don't know. Who?
Mike Williams of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There were actually two Mike Williams playing at this time. One for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one for the Seattle Seahawks.
Huh.
But yeah, he won Rookie of the Year. He had 65 receptions for 964 yards and 11 touchdowns.
Dang.
You want to know who came in third for Rookie of the Year voting?
Who's that?
They're a center.
Center. Who's a good center? I don't know. Who?
Marquise Pouncey.
Oh my gosh, that's a name.
Finished third in Rookie of the Year voting. But yeah, Sam Bradford that rookie year, he had 3,500 passing yards for 18 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. So nothing crazy. But I remember them. They finished with a record of 7-9. But I'm pretty sure they were battling for a playoff spot that last week of the year. And he actually set the record for most completions by a rookie in NFL history that year. So pretty impressive. But yeah, he had a few solid years towards what wound up being the end of his career um, before knee injuries kind of limited. I thought I read that he tore his ACL like twice in the same knee, and then tore his MCL in the same knee.
Ooh.
But yeah, injuries sounds like they just kind of limited him. But I mean, in college that year he won the Heisman. He set he had he became the only became the only. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Starting to sound like Joey Three. Became only the second sophomore to win the Heisman Trophy, as he led the highest scoring offense in NCAA history, passing for 4,700 yards and 50 touchdowns with just 8 interceptions. So,
So good.
once again, another guy that was slinging that thing all over the football field. But yeah, he had a good career. Wish we could have gotten to see more Sam Bradford before things kind of fell off the wheels. The knee obviously fell apart a little bit. All right, we'll start talking a little college football. We'll let Joey get back here and we'll talk a little bit more. But we'll start off in kind of the hottest topic. Not hottest topic, but a big topic that I think about pretty often. And that is the University of Colorado with Dion, Shador. I got that Garmin on me. Why doesn't it work, in your opinion? Like, why doesn't Colorado? Why can't they win? Like, why are they not very good?
I just think there's way too many personalities on the team. I think that
So.
I think that a Colorado State player kind of put it very well. Is that we all love Dion, but he ain't playing no more. And it's true. Like, yeah, Dion's a great personality, but does that translate to winning? No. We've seen that it's an absolute no-no. Maybe it's not Dion, and it's more of just like the players playing for him for NIL deals and like looking cool, and maybe draft stock even being up just because like your name's more out there. But
Sure.
I mean, Travis Hunter's really darn good.
Yeah.
Shadur, I don't know if he's like gonna be really good in the NFL. I just can't tell. But I think Travis Hunter's gonna be a star. But other than that, it's a dumpster fire. The O-line is terrible. And even Deion Sanders and Shadur have came out and said, yeah, the O-line's trash. It's like, what's going on?
Bad for like that's been the biggest like issue the last like 2 years. I feel like every week I hear like I think Shadur after was like, why? How many times you see Patrick Mahomes Jr. or whatever his name is get touched? Those videos are crazy because they like there's no way it's like you got to think like, all right, are you doing this a little bit on purpose? just a little bit. Like, are you leaning into it a little too much? But yeah, they both called out the offensive line a couple of different times. You mentioned Travis Hunter. Do you obviously, like we said, we run Division III cross country and track. Like we're not football geniuses, nor do we claim to be. Do you think it's doable to play offense and defense in the NFL?
I don't know if a team would ever let that happen just because of the high emphasis of player safety now. I think it's possible to be good at one of the two or maybe elite at one of the two. I don't think you can be elite at both, though. I think that is so exhausting. I mean, we see players like gasping for like. Imagine he goes and plays in Denver. You're screwed.
Yeah.
You're not running around all day. It's not happening. So I think that it's more of like a stamina and like there's a high risk of injury of that like constant just pounding, and you're getting minimum breaks. Like special teams is the only time you're off the field. Obviously, I'm sure they would have like different sets where Travis Hunter would come out or whoever else would come out. But that just sounds like tiring to hear that. And we run miles for fun. But oh my gosh, could you imagine getting hit and running that much?
Yeah, and trying to get back up.
Right.
Yeah. Coming off the field during punt. Yeah. I think he even said like against whoever they played week 1, it was like, yeah, watch 12 hours of film this week. And it was like the only reason he probably watched that much was because he plays both ways. Like you have to like, and then doing it at the NFL level, like having to do that then I agree. I don't think it's doable to. I think he can do one at a really high level. I don't know which. He probably winds up wanting to do wide receiver more, just because that's sort of the payday is going to come a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think we could see him like play both ways. Like think about Jab- think about Jabril Peppers in college, how they used him in like certain sets
Yeah.
offensively. Like if that's kind of how it is for him, where it's like, all right, end of the game, it's the last drive, one way or the other. Like we need you to go out there and like play. Like if it's done that way, I feel like it's doable
Yeah.
um, for him to pull off. Um, do you think we see Dion get an opportunity to coach at the NFL level?
No. I feel like
I
you
agree.
you have to win at least a bowl game to even be considered. Like
You gotta make a bowl game.
make one at
All due
least.
respect.
Yeah. I don't think so. Good personality though.
Yeah, it's entertaining. Probably should be in a broadcast booth
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Um, but like we'll see. Like we could wind up eating our words about all of this if they rattle off
True.
6, 7 straight wins and things kind of work out. Maybe this is like a loss to Nebraska is kind of what gets them fired up a little bit. But like we could just see that they kind of fizzle out, and it just kind of turns into another year of whatever they finished at last year: 6-6, 6-7, five and
Yeah.
seven,
Something
whatever
like
it wound up being. I don't think it was very good,
that. No.
so it could just turn into another. We're back after a little hiatus, kind of in a cluster. You know what? We're going on hour 3 of recording / attempting to record, so we're really getting our money's worth out of today. But I just wanted to make sure Joey, as like I've said before, the resident college football expert, give you your opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the things that went on in college football this past week. So the floor is yours.
Well, obviously, we're not going to do a super deep dive here into college football. The things Topher wanted me to hit on, though, first off, Colorado is a mess. Coach Prime is not it. He is not. I mean, listen, I was in that. I think everyone was like infatuated with him a little bit at the beginning of his Colorado tenure and during his tenure at Jackson State. Right, there was a lot of positive there. There was still a lot of negatives and detractors, right? But there was enough positive to outweigh the negatives. But now it's just like, man, so much drama, no performance on the field. Like they suck. They're horrible. And Coach Prime, once Shadur's gone this year, he's gonna have some sort of excuse like his heart's not in it anymore, or he's gonna like leave to pursue other opportunities, or he wants to get into broadcasting again or something. There's gonna be some sort of excuse for why he's not gonna be at Colorado anymore, even though we all know that Colorado's gonna be like, get on out of here, because they're gonna go like 2-10 or something.
Wow.
And then following that, the Notre Dame NIU game. I mean, Notre Dame, their offense is a mess. Riley Leonard is not a good quarterback for Notre Dame's system, and not really a great quarterback in general. He's not a quarterback. He's a running back. So it's kind of tough for them to win games. And the fact that Northern Illinois could crack that code of how to beat Notre Dame when they have a lot of tougher teams on the schedule, that's tough. That's not a good look. That's not good.
I've seen crazy things like people thinking NIU is going to get that last like bid into the college football playoff. Do you buy the NIU hype, or is it just another upset against a team that wasn't as good as we thought?
I mean, I think it's just another upset to some degree. I think NIU is a good team, and they're going to contend in the MAC, but I don't think NIU makes the playoffs unless they go undefeated. While there's other teams in the group of 5, like a Boise State who just lost to Oregon, I think Boise State, if they go 11-1, should and would get in over a undefeated NIU team, unless NIU plays like amazing the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to, like UNLV is better. I think Tulane, who just lost to Kansas State but plays Oklahoma this weekend, if they go 11-1 and beat Oklahoma this weekend, they have a better shot to get in. I think there's so many teams that are better than NIU, but NIU just happened to pull off this miracle victory over a team that was number 5 in the nation when they shouldn't have been.
Sure. Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Just randomly. I know we kind of lost you there for a while, so yeah.
Yeah, I was attending to some personal matters there, but I mean, the one thing I will say, I'm not going to dig into this. If you want to learn more about conference realignment, just head over to our YouTube Shorts or the other YouTube video we made or TikTok. But my favorite thing in sports is studying and predicting conference realignment. I don't like conference realignment itself. I hate the new Big Ten and all that stuff and new SEC, but I like just understanding it, understanding what goes into it. So did a deep dive on that. So just Pac-12 back, baby, just like Jesus Christ risen from the dead.
Any thoughts on Sam Bradford?
Oh, y'all still stuck with Sam Bradford as the boy of the week?
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we just stuck with Bradford.
Good quarterback. Obviously tough injury luck, but good quarterback. Obviously great at Oklahoma. I remember him mostly for his Rams days, I'd say, or lack thereof Rams days because he was always injured. But good quarterback. Wish he could have panned out. Didn't happen. Go Sam Bradford.
Craig Staffer, unpaid intern. Do you have any final thoughts for us?
Don't give up on Caleb Williams. Everyone watching this, just a bad week one. He's going to turn out to be a-okay, if not one of the greatest QBs ever. And the Bears are making the playoffs this year. Book it.
Fair thoughts. Joey, any final takes? You're just itching to get off your chest.
You know, Topher, when I wake up in the morning, I'm grateful for two things. I'm grateful I'm alive, and I'm grateful I'm a Carthage Firebird. And so I just want to wish the Boyos who are still running for Carthage cross country best of luck at their meet at Concordia University, Wisconsin this weekend. Roll Birds as always, and yeah, it's going to be fun to follow along with some D3 cross country this year.
Decent chunk of us aren't running, but yeah, should be a fun weekend. My final thoughts: if we put out, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm putting something out on YouTube Short/TikTok every day. Craig's putting something out every day. Joey has stuck to putting something out every day. So if you want to go see some of our additional thoughts as different weeks go on, all of the links are in the bio. Give us a follow. Tell a friend about it. Let your friends know. Colt the Bolt 85. You got any friends out there that like sports? Let them know to check us out. But thank you very much for listening. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, follow everywhere, and we will see you all next week. Have a great night, everybody.